Okay, hello everybody. This is Herbert from DECO BOKO Speaks. Today we have Mark Kwong from Brandboom. He is the head of business development. As also, he's in charge of anything that relates with customers. So today we will be explaining a little bit about how to use Brandboom and how to use the DECO BOKO trade show. So yeah, Mark, if you could please introduce yourself and maybe give us a little bit about your background.
Hi, yeah, thanks, Herbert. I'm Mark, and I look after head of business development for Brandboom, looking after everything from sales, marketing, partnerships, generally just the customer side of the business. And we're really excited to be working with DECO BOKO. The products are amazing. I think there's some really, really good stuff here. And in terms of my background, I come from a couple of different fields. I spent 10 years in tech in Australia, and a lot on the enterprise side and mobility applications and that sort of stuff. And I also have a background in music. So having been a touring artist full time and running a label and doing stuff in the music business, so it's quite a broad range, and I think it's kind of married well in this role that I have with Brandboom, where it's a lot of creative, a lot of business, and new for me being in the fashion industry. And I've been here for 2 years and love the company. I think we have an amazing product, and we're here really just to help brands and trade shows succeed. And in this digital age at the moment, especially with COVID, I think it's really, really important. So I'm happy to have DECO BOKO on, and also really excited to have the brands and all this influx of Japanese culture into the US as well. So yeah.
Yeah, that sounds really nice. And I knew you were from Australia, but what made you actually physically move from there to the US?
Uh, it was my music. So after having done some stuff in the tech field, I was like, you know what, I really just want to give my music some time before my back goes even more than it has now. I moved here in 2013. I was kind of going back and forwards with touring, and decided, you know what, those 15-hour flights were killing me, just from Melbourne to LA. And I actually moved to New York. So I moved there and haven't looked back since. So that's hence the move to the US.
Nice.
Yeah.
Um, I've seen a couple of your other webinars, or some sessions with different trade shows that you guys host, and
Mhm.
I I thought it was really interesting how you related um, Michael Jackson and other legends to uh, long-lasting products.
Yep.
So I guess maybe today we might be able to hear a little bit about that too. And yeah, if you could maybe give us a quick tour of how buyers would use the platform and um, see the digital line sheets.
Yeah, sure. So I'll share my screen in a moment, but just touching on what you said, I think it was um, probably one of the chats I did based on helping sellers reach buyers.
Right.
And so part of in this COVID sort of period, there's been a lot of thought and a lot of reimagination. I think um, the world, not just in the industry, whether it be home goods or fashion or whatever it is, has had a big reset button pushed, and perhaps the reset button is still being pushed because I don't think everything's got back to some sort of normalcy again. But I think my point was that especially right now, it doesn't matter what season it is, because I think the concept of seasons has kind
Right.
of disappeared. We're all in sweatpants and t-shirts at home working, right? So the concept of seasons has kind of gone out. And Herbert and I had a quick discussion before, but Christmas is coming, so that is a season, and that will impact. But whether or not it's cold or it's hot or whatever, I think outside, in terms of weather, that whole two trade show period a year is kind of gone. What really matters is, have you got great products? If it's a great product now, this is going back really, really far, and I'm kind of diverting, but a Bauhaus chair is, cantilever chair is still great today. And if you create a great product, as we've seen in some of the, these brands I've seen for DECO BOKO, they will last this year, they'll last next year, they'll be great in 10 years time. So I think it's just, really important to have, if your products are great, they'll sell themselves no matter the season. I think that's, kind of what I was trying to get at. But in terms of, the software, let me, from a buyer perspective, we at Brandboom have a real big focus on making sure that the buyer experience is easy. And to a point, it's almost been, I would say negative, but it's been harmful for our reputation in the industry from buyer side, because we don't plant our Brandboom logo everywhere on the buyer side. So we've actually had a lot of buyers who've used our platform, ordered on our platform, and not even known that they've been using our platform. Right. That's how seamless we try to make it. So you as a buyer coming into Brandboom, you might be sent a link either from a brand themselves, which will bring you directly to their line sheet, or you might be invited to the trade show by Herbert or Mariko at DECO BOKO, and you would click in there, enter some details, and obviously go in there. So what I was going to do was just show you, using my test account, what the buyer account looks like and what the trade show might look like. So let me go ahead and share my screen.
Got it.
Herbert, you can see that, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this is our buyer login page. We have buyers who use this every day. There are probably 150,000 active buyers, on our system who use this very, very regularly. Sometimes they log in every day to see what's new and been sent to them, or they log in to see old, people that they've worked with and try and repurchase. We also have a system called Connect, which is for we help our sellers match to buyers like you using artificial intelligence. So we know what you buy, we know what they sell, and we kind of match you together using AI. And it works really, really well to get you, relevant matches rather than just you searching and hoping to find something, that might be great. So yeah, you would log in through this here, and this is my test account. And generally, you would see this here, which is something that you would have to fill out. Obviously, because it's a test, I haven't, but you can put in your photo so that sellers can see, what you look like. You can put in categories so that our AI system can match you to, similar categories that you work with. Trade shows you might attend, or ones that you would love to attend, so that you can again recommend you relevant products, what sort of price range you are, and information about your retail business or whatever buying team you have, and locations where you ship things. So that's all there. But in terms of the buying, we use something here called the buyer feed. It kind of looks like Instagram. And we found it to be really helpful for buyers because we show you, like a quick preview. If you imagine you're at a trade show, you can see, you're peering into a booth and you can see, that looks like something for me. I'm going to walk in and I'm going to look. And we kind of give you that same experience. And it applies to trade shows too. So on your left-hand panel, I'll go through it all, but there are your trade shows. There's history of who you visited, orders you've made. You can create little favorites and wish lists of things, products that you like. And any messages a seller or brand might send to you. So that's all in one system here. So I'm going to click on trade shows, and obviously we have a few here that have been made available. So I'm just going to go into my Brandboom demo show just to give DECO BOKO a bit of privacy in terms of pricing and things like that. This is another trade show we work with, Caravan Americana. So you would have your logo there. You can have different categories that you can see here. So if you're the buyer, you're looking for some jewelry, you can click that and it would show you whoever has jewelry in their system. Yeah, this is the feed. So it's, really, really clean and easy to view. And you would click in here, for example, to, say I like this one here. That looks like a, good bikini top that I want to purchase, you can click on shop and it will bring you to the brand's line sheet. So it will give you the brand information. You can even click, do I like this? So you can, keep our AI running well and saying, okay, let's give you more of these, things to look at. Some brands might put a YouTube video, so you might be able to see, their line or a campaign that they've recently shot. And it's really, really super simple to order. So if you click through, you can favorite things and it would save it to your list. If you wanted to look at this product or this one, let's say, in more detail, you can actually click on that, and it would bring you to this page where you have front view, back view, whatever the brand dictates in terms of photos. And if you like it, you can click order, and that's as simple as that. And it adds everything to a cart. It's sort of like a purchase order system, so that you can enter the relevant quantities later. As we know, when you purchase, there are various sizings and pre-packs and things that particular brands want. So if you click on here and go to order, it'll give you an order form. It's a non-binding form. Now, some brands will ask you to put a deposit in, but generally this is a non-binding, purchase order. And obviously you would enter your details, and then purchase info. You may have some brands who will actually ask you, like I said before, to put a deposit on the spot, and we use Stripe and PayPal for that, so you can purchase through those, and that would mean you could use your credit cards, etc., or you can request particular terms, if the brand allows it. And as we can see here, you can put in your quantities. So this one says it's got 4 left. I'm just going to put through 1, 1, 1. And that's basically it. It's really, really super simple to do. And then once you're ready, it says the minimum is 100, your total is 345. You can actually place an order. I do have to fill in some fields above, but you can place the order, and that's basically it. So we really, really, as I said, try to make this easy from a buying perspective. And I think that kind of shows, like these Brandboom logos only here because that's our test account. Other than that, we kind of don't really push our branding on the buyer. So that's basically the buying experience from the trade show. You can see all the brands here. Some might have a couple of line sheets. So this one particular brand here has 3 different ones from their showroom. So you can click into each one of those. And then if you need to go back to your menu, it's in the little hamburger or accordion up here. And you can go back to see, whatever orders you have and what's open. And this will also update you with shipping dates and whether it's been, packed or all that sort of stuff. So, you'll receive notifications for that once it's done too. A real big bonus as well is that when you do order and as you negotiate with the brand, potentially if an item is not available now and they're going to ship later, there is actually a working history at the bottom of the order form. So once the order form goes through, you can see, okay, this change has been made on this date, this change has been made on this date. So everything's kept track of, so that it's really transparent between you and the brand as to what's happening with that order, and they don't try and charge you for something and unnecessarily, or you didn't agree to something before. So that's available as well.
Right. I've noticed that you guys also have the option of having the buyers sign each change throughout the course of the shipping.
Yes.
So like if I'm only able to partially ship the order and create a new invoice based on what's rest on the order, I think the buyers can kind of approve it or not, and things like that. That's
right. Yeah. So as I said, if a change is made on both sides, it has to be approved so that it's everyone is happy with the transaction, and there's nothing mistaken or nothing not accepted or accepted that you didn't think what was there. So it's just a bit of security for both sides, and that's good for everyone. I think. Most brands and most buyers are honest, but having that accountability there is great as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of the buying. I guess Herbert, I'm happy to go through anything else, but that's really as simple as it gets. And as I said, this is the trade show. You can order from as many brands as you want. You can click in here. It'll browse, open up another sheet with you know other products that someone might have. These are all demo ones of ours that we kind of test set up, and then you've got your cart here, so you can see what you've saved before, and you can also sort by featured or recently added sheets to the trade show. And once you've been given access, unless the trade show revokes it from you for whatever reason, maybe they're refreshing the show over a period of time or whatever, you'll see it here in your trade shows panel. So
Okay. Yeah, I guess anybody who's shopped online before would be able to use this platform. I think it's that easy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty set formula now. This whole online purchasing thing. The
Yeah.
difference with us is we don't necessarily do the quantities in terms of when the actual product is added to cart. Obviously, when you go to Amazon or something like that, when you add, you initially set the quantities. But we do that because, as you know, as a buyer, there are so many variations that happen.
Right.
I can only think of jewelry. We're recently helping a jewelry trade show, and there's the ring, but then there's the different metals the ring comes in. There's the different stones that you can have as a combination with that design. So it's options upon options and options, which is why we put that on the order form so that you can be a little bit more granular about that.
Right.
Yeah, that's the main reason of the slight difference. But Herbert very well put. It's just as simple as online shopping experience, and everyone's familiar with that.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
thanks for sharing your screen. It's really helpful, I think, when people can visualize the idea of logging in, placing orders, adding stuff to the carts and things like that. So obviously, you guys have been doing the online platform for a while.
Yeah.
Is it about like 10 years?
Yeah, so Brandboom's been around. It was created about 10 years ago, back actually probably a little bit more. And it's, we basically started it as a line sheet software, and to take that very physical analog process and digitize that. And initially it was more of a lookbook sort of thing, then added ordering capability, then added invoicing capability, and every day, every month, every year we add more and more features, and we just do a ton more than we used to. But the core product is line sheets and making sure that brands can sell to buyers. So that's where we came from.
What were some of the challenges that you had to face in this past 10 years, and what do you think? How do you think it's going to change in the future?
In terms of 10 years, I can only speak for my time here and anecdotally what I've heard in the business. I think the challenges have always been with getting buyers to adopt this. The brands definitely want to do it, especially newer brands. Brandboom is very fortunate to have helped a lot of new brands emerge. We've had some who came to us 6-7 years ago, Dope, Diamond Supply, those sort of people who are huge in the US now. They came from literally the old garage team putting together like a product, and it's a couple of people, and now to multi-million-dollar businesses, which is amazing. So I think from a seller side, there's always been the want for that adoption, also because it means one less thing to do. It means they can be creative and not worry about manual processes. So that's always been the challenge. I think for us, we pride ourselves as well. We are very different to some of our competitors because we focus on user experience, making sure that it's less clicks, it's easy to use, potentially sometimes slower to market on one or two features, but that's because we try and get it right, or as best as we can do interpretation of what we think is right. And for the most part, I think it's worked out really well. We've got customers who just will never leave because they just enjoy the methodology of how we do things. So I think the challenges that I see in the last couple of years, after that, is getting the buyers to go along with it. In the US, it's a lot easier. Technology is, everyone wants technology. What's new? What's going to make my life easier? How can I buy myself more time? I think we have challenges in some other regions, where the technology has not caught up yet, or the buyers, especially older buyers, don't want to get digital, and they think it's difficult. So hence why we created the buyer experience here, which I've shown you before, to be as easy as possible, because we want you to use it and go, not be afraid and say, okay, if I have to order, this is fine. I'm used to this process. It's not going to ruin my day. And so that's what we want. We don't want to make it difficult. That's been, I guess, the challenge from the buying side. From the brand side, it's always the same. It's, have you got this feature, or can you do this, can you do that? And then clearly, since the start of this year, when there were murmurings of COVID, we already had talked about stuff for trade shows, and how to make the trade show experience better. And it isn't this is by no means our trade show platform isn't replacing trade shows, and I don't think we would ever want to do that. It's very much a complementary piece that goes hand in hand. Like, both from a buyer and seller perspective. I know that you guys would have gone to a trade show before and gone, wow, that was 3 or 4 days of my time.
Yeah.
I've had to leave home, upset my family dynamic, or whatever it is, put my dog with a friend and just upset my dog, all those things. And was that all worth it, to go to this particular trade show? I think adding this digital layer means that from a buyer perspective, you might go visit a bunch of brands, and you might see 100 brands on a physical floor, and you'll forget,
Right.
Things that you've seen throughout a period of a few days. This affords you the ability to go back and say, oh yeah, this is what they had, and these are the products that they had, and just re-review and rethink what you purchased. Or perhaps you weren't able to get to a particular section, and you wanted to spend more time with a bunch of different brands in one area, more quality time with maybe less brands, and at least you can go back and browse and see what else you missed in the show. So I think it's a great complementary tool. And then of course COVID happened, and now we're here with this being a primary tool, which is great. Good for us, good for our brands, good for trade shows who are working with us, and it's a replacement for the moment. I personally couldn't be happier with the way that it's sort of gone, especially with the trade shows that we're working with. And I know, Herbert, DECO BOKO has launched for a couple of weeks. I guess you probably got more hands-on experience from a trade show perspective, but how's that gone for you?
Well, I mean, the timing was, I think, like you said, it was pretty on point.
Mm-hmm.
Because the pandemic just kind of happened like right after the winter shows in New York. We were at New York now in February, and then we just kind of lost the connection between the buyers, because we weren't sure if when the next show is going to happen. We still don't really know when it's going to happen. And at the same time, we kind of had thoughts on hosting a trade show, because we were already kind of curating a group of Japanese brands, and there wasn't a platform where you can kind of find that at one stop
Mm-hmm.
in one stop. So I think that all came all turned out really naturally,
Right.
and at the same time, it might look like we just did it because of the pandemic, but it really isn't.
Well, no,
like
I mean, we can be transparent here. You guys have been using Brandboom for, a few years now, right? And that's for your own showroom where you represent multiple brands. We've just now scaled that
Mhm.
uh, larger to more brands that you're helping and bringing to the trade show, and um, it's just an expansion on top of your existing
Yeah.
relationship with what you had with us. So yeah.
I mean, this pandemic is actually kind of really like it makes people kind of revisit what you've been doing, kind of, and then like it's a really, I mean, it's a bad thing, but it also kind of opens up a different perspective.
Yeah.
Like like in a way, I was closed minded in the digital world, because I've always thought that I can't do business without meeting people, and then look where we're at. I haven't met you in person,
Mhm.
but we put together a trade show together, and it's working great. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you don't live that far away from me. I mean, in LA terms, hit traffic, sure you do, but like right now, it wouldn't take long for me to drive to meet you. And previously we would have, but now we've
yeah,
done it completely over Zoom and Google Meetings and things. So yeah,
yeah. But at the same time, I do want to meet you at one point, and then
we will. Yeah, we will. Yeah,
yeah,
and as we said, it's all it's come at a perfect time, in terms of making the best of a bad situation, and um, we're helping continuity for trade shows to run, and once the physical show happens, and we're really really excited to attend that and be part of that ourselves. It'll just be a complementary piece, and it'll be, like I said, something that will be there to help the buyers purchase and look after, or um, even now, like there are some physical shows that are happening. I'm not going to go into whether I agree with that or don't, but there will be a lot of buyers who can't attend those shows, the
right,
physical shows themselves, right? Especially being from Australia, we can bear there are very few flights in and out, and if I were to go back to Australia, I'd have to spend 2 weeks in quarantine. So the buyers just won't
yeah,
do that. So they'll want to visit from overseas because they still need to have inventory for their Christmas period coming up too. So this digital thing, kind of works out
mhm,
really well from that perspective.
right.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
yeah, thanks so much for all your insights, and it was really great to have you speak about hands-on experience on how to utilize your platform.
mhm.
But
You're welcome.
yeah, so that's all for today. If you're a wholesale buyer, you can check out the line sheets Japanese products at deco-boko.com. If you haven't registered yet, you could do so through our website, and we hope to see you at the show. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Herbert.
All right,
Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.
you too.